Welcome, everyone, to episode 66 of Video Game Club. As always, I am your host, Tyler, and I have with me today Mr. Robobot, Austin.
Beep boop. Hello.
And it would not be a Video Game Club episode without our very own little pink bundle of joy, Mox.
Hello.
Hello, Mox. We are a little delayed today. Had a family emergency. But besides that, Mox, how are you doing today?
I'm great. How about you?
Good. And Austin, doing all right?
I'm doing all right.
Hanging in there?
Oh, yeah.
So, Mox, what have you been playing besides Kirby Planet Robobot?
I don't remember how we got into talking about it, but we were talking about pixel lines. And Austin told me that there was a whole extra pack of thousands of, I think it's 500 puzzles, released for the first one. And I was anticipating buying the second one, but then he told me about the first one. And then I checked the first one, and there were even more packs that were released, added to the game later. So that's what I've been doing, drawing my finger over my Swish screen, putting together colorful puzzles.
Nice. I saw that I know you were over here whenever we were looking at like that the second one existed. And I was like, what is this? The second one is not on Steam, but the first one is.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought that was weird. Yeah. It's like,
I didn't know either of them were on Steam, but I'm glad.
Yeah. It's an interesting concept. Like, I guess if you are a fan of logic puzzles and things like Sudoku and Picross, you would recommend this, right, Mox?
Yes,
Pixel
but
lines.
it is a bit different. I guess if you're looking for a nonogram, this is not a nonogram.
No,
but
it's
it definitely has a lot going for it, and it's fun.
Making pictures with numbers.
Yeah.
Without it being paint by numbers.
Yeah.
It's easier and less, like, it doesn't require a lot of thinking, but it still requires, like, you can get yourself stuck, and then you have to undo some lines, and then when it comes together, it's so satisfying.
And you can draw some really cool stuff, right? With the really big ones.
Yeah, the bigger ones are really fun because they will have a lot more gradations of color. So you're doing like a slightly orangier orange, and then like a grayer orange, and then it's gray, and then black, and then white, and a darker gray. And then it doesn't make any sense until you look in the top left and you see the pictures start to come together. It's really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Austin, what have you been playing besides Kirby Planet Robobot?
So I did try the demo for Pixel Lines, and that was pretty fun. I did have a good time. I haven't picked it up yet, but I will probably do that in the next sale. Now that my 3DS is free again, I'm working again on Picross E8, trying to finish that off, and then I'll be very sad I won't have any more 3DS Picross games anymore.
Yeah.
You already went through Pokemon and Legend of Zelda, all of them? There's two different.
I did the Zelda one, I did the Pokemon one, I did almost all of it. I got to like the reverse board and did a bunch of that, and then I hit certain missions they wanted me to do that I was just like, no, that's really dumb, and I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
It was like, I like to play with no hints, and like it got to the point where you were being punished for not using hints, and I wasn't about that life.
I agree. The only way to play any sort of like Picross game is without hints.
Yeah, totally agree. The ones on Switch are fun, and they are worth playing because of the co-op aspect of it. I had a lot of fun.
I just can't stand the interface.
Yeah, it's not.
If I can't use a stylus, it's just like, why am I playing Picross?
Yeah.
Well, hey, it works pretty well with the D-pad, and A and X and Y.
It does work. It just doesn't work like to the degree that I want it to. And it's just like, I just get sad. It makes me just want to play on my DS. So, I don't know.
Maybe they'll make just like a DS, but it'll just be only Picross games, and they'll just release Picross games.
I need some homebrewed demakes where it's like, I need to own the Switch version to have the license, but like, I play it on my 3DS instead. That'd be
cool. That'd be
awesome. I don't
awesome.
know why you couldn't use like one of those styluses that they make for phone screens.
Because it's not like as precise.
Yeah. Didn't Mario Maker 2 come with a stylus or something like that?
If you bought like a certain version of it, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just like that rubber tip. Yeah.
Yeah. Any news on the Yakuza front?
Yes, I finished Yakuza 6
Woo!
and like wrapped up all the achievements for that last night.
Ooh, a completion?
Completion.
Ooh.
My first time getting all the achievements for a Yakuza game, so I wanted to
Dang.
do
That's
that
awesome.
for 6. It looked attainable, and I did it. But so I haven't started 7, but I will probably do that today. We'll see what happens.
Man, I might need to play 7 with you then, because I'm pretty far along, so I should just finish it.
And I got to play some of Knockout City's final season last night, so I'm gonna be trying to see how far I can get in ranked one last time. But
before everything shuts down.
they didn't really make any sort of big deal about what was going to be in their final season. They were just like, yeah, come have a big party with us. And like, there's no update spot on Steam to tell you like the new season started or anything. But like, it came with an update that did all these quality of life changes, like really cool stuff.
Man.
And we were just like, oh, and they added this and that, and there's this thing, and what's this? Oh my gosh. And it's like, it's really cool that they did that for their last few months. It's also really sad that it got added so late, and it's just like, man, it's so bittersweet.
It's
Very
unfortunate that like there's so many service games, in this similar vein to Knockout City that just like won't exist. Can't play them. You missed. Sorry.
Well, at the very least, Knockout is putting out. They're going to make it so that you can play on private servers after they shut down. So
nice.
At least on the PC version, they're doing everything
to keep it alive.
They
right?
possibly could to like give a satisfying leave out at the end. So I can't be mad at them, but it is sad.
Yeah, I have been playing Luck Be a Landlord every night since Monty told me about it. Yeah, it's really fun. I'm on.
How fast you go?
I'm on floor 4.
I think I'm only on 7, and there's like either 20 or 30. It's tough.
It is very tough, but so I try to do one run every night before bed on my Steam Deck, and I've noticed I've gotten a lot better at picking strategies depending on what cards or what symbols you get offered to you and stuff. And
now,
it's a good time.
How many items from the workshop have you installed?
None so far.
Why?
I'm going to try to beat it vanilla. And then go from there.
Strongly recommend Two Lesbians in a Trench Coat. They just have they have the best name, first of all, but also they've made a lot of great, like adding things, like 1 or 2 items and then altering how just a few vanilla items work to add like a lot of functionality that I feel like is probably better, honestly, than the vanilla game. I really enjoy most of their mods.
I'll look into it. I will but I have this thing where I try to like not install mods until I've beaten the game regular. But that's just like a me thing.
I guess you could get it's a lot easier to get like something going with the mods. That's why I had to turn to them.
I see what you mean.
It was really tough.
Yeah, sometimes I've noticed when you do a run, you're like, well, I already know I'm gonna fail. So
I know.
Because I don't have any long-term stuff built up, but it's a good game. I also have there was this crazy amazing deal with Costco where you could get $100 in Nintendo credit for like 80, and then on top of that you can use that $100 to get 2 of the what do they call, like the coupons or whatever, the vouchers. Yeah. And so I pre-ordered Tears of the Kingdom, and then I used my other voucher for Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, and that game has been wonderful so far. It has a story completion counter and also like a overall counter, so I'm like 4% overall, but I'm like story-wise I'm like 15% or something like that. It has some really cool mini games. It has this one called Kirby Samurai.
From Superstar?
I guess. I don't know. I didn't play it on there, so I don't know. But it's really fun, and you can daily compete with people online.
Oh, nice.
So they group 100 of you together, and then they just try to see who does the fastest reaction time. It's pretty good. And then I started on Tunic as well, which will probably be our next game, depending on how the rest of this episode. Now, before we get started, diving into Kirby Planet Robobot. This is, in fact, Video Game Club, where usually it's a video gum club. Actually, everyone's chewing gum on video. You just can't see it.
Oh God.
But
ASMR.
usually every 2 weeks we discuss the game voted on by our wonderful friends in the Bombchu Discord and discuss that game right here on twitch.tv/BombchuTV. If you can't catch us live, don't worry. You can find it on YouTube, all major podcast services. And if you appreciate what you're hearing, please consider subscribing, rating, commenting, coming to our Discord, and giving a nomination, because these games that were nominated came from viewers and listeners like you. Thank you. And they were Doki Doki Literature Club, Kirby, Planet Robobot, and Gravity Rush. And the winner is Kirby, Planet Robobot. That is what we're here to talk about. It's a side-scroller platformer developed by HAL Laboratory. Everyone knows HAL here, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cute dog and their eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Founded in 1980. Created a bunch of great games from Kirby to Mother to Smash Bros. Does anyone have a favorite HAL game? Mox, do you have a favorite?
Kirby Air Ride.
Kirby Air Ride? Okay, solid. Austin?
A favorite HAL game? That's tough.
I know.
I'd need to look back.
Mine would probably be Super Smash Bros. For the 64. I think. So many great memories. But they don't mess around. They've been, they make some pretty great quality games. And this game was published by Nintendo, released June 10th, 2016 in North America, and it was released earlier, April 28th, 2016 in Japan. So 2016 in gaming, we had the Oculus Rift, the HTC Vive, the Xbox One S, the PS4 Slim, the PS4 Pro, the PSVR. Mox, did you pick up a PSVR too?
Not to. Everyone was like, don't pre-order. And I'm still like waiting for people to be like, oh no, you need to get this. And I haven't really heard that yet.
Same. Also same.
Yeah.
Games, we had Persona 5, Uncharted 4, Inside, Dark Souls 3, Overwatch, and a handful of games we've played for Video Game Club already.
No.
2016. Let's start throwing out some games.
What Remains of Edith Finch?
Nope. No.
Damn
Axiom
it.
Verge?
Nope.
I think that was 2015.
Firewatch, our very first game that we did together.
Yes,
Mox's very first. One that me and Austin played.
Hotline Miami 2?
No.
Oh.
Titanfall? Yep, Titanfall 2. Fury. Doom. And
That's
one that we had Vin on for. Mox, I think you were a pretty big fan of this game.
I can't even remember now.
Vin was here. He carried on a light bulb.
Oh my gosh. I can't even remember what it's called
One
right
Shot.
now. One Shot.
One Shot. Yep. And now Kirby Planet Robobot, which got 8s. People really liked the gameplay and the level design, the boss fights, the music.
Music!
You don't like my music? Some things that people didn't like were the difficulty. It always seems to be like that with Kirby games. I don't know what people are expecting. Like, Kirby games are kind of easy, and they've always been kind of easy, right? Sorry.
It depends
I
on
was
the
gonna
Kirby game.
Say.
Really?
Depends on the Kirby game. There
Okay.
are degrees of easy with Kirby games.
True.
And some are a lot easier than others. And I will also say there's a difference between a game that's easy and a game that's boring.
Mhm.
Like, and like those are two things that can go hand in hand. But like, Yoshi's Woolly World is a boring game because of how easy it is.
It is.
I haven't played it, so I don't know.
like your reaction, I was prepared for you to actually have that reaction because there are a lot of people who are like, that game's the best, but also, oh my god, what a dull game.
Well, we will see if it was a boring game for some of you during our discussion. Let's start talking about that gameplay. So we already mentioned it's a side-scrolling platformer composing of 6 worlds plus a final boss. Each world has collectibles such as cubes and stickers. and a very small amount of cubes are required to get to the final boss stage of the world. I don't know how many because I feel like it was so little of an amount. Like maybe you need to find 1 or 2 per level. It was small.
I think it was like 5 or 6 total.
Yeah. If you get all the cubes in the world, you get a more... I felt like they were more puzzle leaning, the extra stages. Is that... Would you agree?
They would have like kind of a more interesting mechanic to them. Like, there was one where it was like, oh, the end of the level's right at the start, but you need to take this long path a different way to go get your Robobot and then like prep everything to get through.
Yeah. Mox, did you play any of the extra stages?
No. This
Okay.
game did not hold my attention.
Oh. There are a variety of copy abilities. Did we have any favorites, Mox?
Mirror Kirby came back.
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Austin. Mirror Kirby?
Mirror Kirby came back, and that's like my favorite transformation ever because it's just the coolest. It makes cool sounds. You glide along the floor like when you're running, and then you do your split. It's just got great sounds. It's a wonderful sounding power, and just not enough Kirby games have it. So when it shows up, I'm happy.
Mox, what about you? Did you have any copy abilities that you liked?
So my last like real Kirby game was Crystal Shards, which you can combine them.
I know, it's awesome. It's so cool.
I don't know why that has I been brought back.
Yeah, it hasn't at all.
Every time I've played a new Kirby game, I've been like, oh, look, there's so many abilities. What if I can combine them? What will they look like? No, hasn't been a thing. Also, I don't know their names, so I had to pull up a list because I just described them by what they are. My favorite classic one is always the sword, which is, I think it's just called sword. It is called sword.
Yeah.
It's the most like easy to use one, so that's why I go to it. But one that I hadn't experienced. Oh, go ahead.
His little hat. It's really cute.
It's super cute.
It's very cute. One that was new to me was the doctor one, which was very cute. And
that one's my favorite.
It's my favorite one in this one.
Yeah.
What I really liked, though, again, I'm coming from, which I don't even know what year Crystal Shards came out, but in Crystal Shards, you have like one thing that you do. And then when you combine 2 of them, you do a different thing, but it's still just like one thing. But here, every button you press, and if you press a direction or you know, they all have different like things within that same ability, which is very interesting. I wasn't used to that.
So that came from Kirby Superstar.
So there's a bit of Kirby Superstar in here then.
A lot of the powers and sound effects and like the way that the powers work, pulled quite a bit from Superstar, which is cool.
Maybe I should play that next and not Return to Dreamland Deluxe. I really like the Archer one. I thought that one was pretty cool. And I thought I honestly don't know which one's the mirror one, but the one that's you're basically like Ness.
ESP?
Yeah, ESP.
Oh, yeah.
That one was really cute because he had the little Ness hat on. I thought that was pretty cool.
Now
I will say the ice power, they didn't make Kirby blue, and I'm just pissed as hell about that because if Kirby gets ice powers, he turns blue. Period. Blue Kirby's best Kirby.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
I love picking them in Smash, making them blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Mox?
So I watched the Any Percent speed run, and it's very silly. And if you can imagine, like, I want to give you a chance to guess what you think the most important ability they use
abuse,
in
right?
the speed run.
That they abuse. They abuse it, though, right?
Well, in a way.
Okay. I would guess... One second. I would guess the circus one. For no particular reason. Just because...
No.
Okay.
I would guess like the leaf or the whip.
No.
Oh, the whip would be a good one.
The jet. And do you know why? Do you just fly over the entire level?
Like,
that makes sense.
Now the second... Oh, go ahead.
That and like the wheel.
Oh, yeah, the wheel.
I was like, those are too obvious. It can't be those. Yeah.
I would have thought the wheel. No, so it's the jet. And then the second one is cutter. Because you just down and then slide to get through anything. And then you also just use, like, that's the weapon that he most abused in fighting bosses, which was very interesting to me.
So this game also has a lot of side content. You can play the whole game as Meta Knight, which was okay.
required to get 100%, by the way.
Which
and that's the
I
most
said no
played
to.
mode of this speedrun. That has more runs than all of the other modes combined. The Meta Nightmare or whatever.
Probably because, well, one, it has a timer built in. So it's like timing you as you go. And then I feel like it's kind of built for speedrunning, and as far as that goes.
Yeah.
And then there's no cutscenes or anything either. It's just level after level after level, like bam, 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 bam. So
And you don't have to worry about managing the power that you have. So probably a
Yeah.
little bit more mistake friendly.
I like that.
It also has two boss rush modes, the arena and then the true arena. It also has something called Team Kirby Clash and Kirby 3D Rumble. I played a little bit of the Meta Knight, but that's all I played. Did anyone dip their toe in to any of these?
No.
Yeah. There was just, I'm sure they were great for, getting more gameplay, like more out of this game that you bought, that you spent $40, $50, $60 on. But yeah. I know, I'm pretty sure, wasn't there like a Kirby Clash game on Switch? Like Super Team Kirby Clash or Kirby Clash
that I
2?
can't remember what they're all called, and when they
Yeah.
they'll announce one, and I'm like, didn't that just come out like 2 years ago? And they're like, no, this is a totally different one. That's also a free to play multiplayer smash 'em up, not pay to win.
Yeah, exactly. Have you played any of those mocks? Those Kirby like knockoffs?
No, I
spin-offs?
don't. They're just like just those games. It's not where it's at.
Not where it's at. All right, moving on to the visuals.
This game was beautiful in 3D.
Yes.
I'm so sorry that you guys can't experience it. It is smooth. It is gorgeous. It makes use of like the different planes, which can make things look cheap on the 3D if you aren't, using it expertly. They use it expertly.
I could tell by playing it that it appeared that it would use the 3D well.
Yeah.
From the stuff that I saw, like the little like puzzles and when things were in the background and the foreground and stuff like that. I also agree that this game is very pretty and very vibrant and just like really nice to look at. Even
I really like the casino stages or whatever.
Oh yeah,
casino.
those were really good. Yeah. Overall, I feel like it was just really nice to look at. Was there anything that stood out besides the casino stage box, or was that kind of like your favorite?
Well, I didn't beat the final boss because It is just so much, and it's bullet hell, spoilers. And I can't do that. But I watched the speedrun of it, and I bet that looks amazing in 3D because of the way you like drill through the planes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But I can't. I will never see it in 3D. It's too much.
Anything visually that you liked, Austin? That stood out?
I mean, it's kind of like that. I feel like that's kind of like a minimum bar for a Kirby game to come out. Like they always are just like, we got to make this look really good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a Kirby game that is not good looking.
Nintendo Game Boy, that one? No. Even then, the original was still pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they do a good job visually with Kirby. He's cute. He looks cute. They did a good job. Moving on to the music. So the soundtrack was composed by the same composers who have been working on Kirby forever. Jun Ishikawa and Hirokazu Ando. And they've been doing Kirby since the beginning. So I felt like it fit pretty well. Like, it's Kirby music and it's good. I would argue. Mox, the music that you heard, were you digging it?
Oh yeah. I mean, I wouldn't listen to it outside of anything, but it wasn't awful to listen to in this stage.
Did you listen to the water music song that I sent?
I don't remember.
Okay,
That's how kind of unremarkable they are.
Oh, I really liked that one. Austin, what about you? Music?
So the main theme for this, I think the last time I had played this game was maybe 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And I had only played the first world. And I guess it was enough that I got the theme song somewhere in my head that's like, I know this theme song. And I heard it somewhere else multiple times. It was just like, what is that? Like, what game is that song from? I know I've heard it before. It has driven me crazy. And so restarting this and hearing the main theme, it was just like, oh, it's the song! I was very happy to finally know where that came from. But it's a good main theme, and like I like that some of the bosses will like sing lyrics to it before you fight them. They're like, "Isn't this a great song?" I'm like, "Yeah, it is a great song. I don't like your lyrics, but it's a good song."
Yeah.
I had to have my 3DS on mute for a good amount of the time while I was playing, but anytime that like I was kind of by myself or like in a different part of the house where I could be a little bit quiet, I would turn it up a little bit so I could hear, just because it was nice music.
Would you listen to it on
and
its
a lot
own?
of the probably not, but the sound effects were all really nice. A lot of them were pulled straight from Superstar and other Kirby games, which is why fix it if it ain't broke, right?
Yep. How did you guys feel like the controls and interface were for this game? I had some small issues, but it was probably just user error, just me, where I would not want to do the running attack with the power, but it would do it on accident. But that was about it.
Did you do D-pad or joystick?
I did joystick. So
I had a lot more control over that if I was using the D-pad.
Yeah, I
used the D-pad.
I should have used the D-pad, but I used joystick. So that's
So I did notice when I was using joystick, like if I just pushed over, it would do like a run.
Yeah.
On D-pad, you have to double tap in order to go into running. But
yeah, that was probably my issue. But besides that, I thought it controlled really well. How about you guys? Mox, controls?
I cannot get enough of unscrewing things and inserting things back in.
Yeah, that was fun. And there's also like a touch, you barely use it, just in a couple levels, but where you're on that like little gondola kind of type thing. Yes.
Oh, the motion.
Yeah.
The gyro controls.
Oh yeah, it was motion, sorry. Yeah, the gyro stuff, yeah. That was kind of nice, but they didn't use too much of that.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, that's true.
The only struggle I had, I'm used to old Kirby, where if you intentionally drop your ability, Kirby will like throw it in front of him. And so I would see something I wanted, and then I would turn away from it so I could throw my power away. And then I kept forgetting in this one,
it goes behind you.
It's a good design. When you drop it, it should go behind you, right? Then you don't have to do that turnaround. I'm just so used to the other games that I did it every time. There was never a time when I faced the correct way to drop my ability. I never got used to it by the end. So that was the only struggle I really had with the controls. But everything kind of worked the way that it seemed like it should.
The speedrun had a really swag strat. The final hit on like the penultimate boss, he ejects his power and hits him with that star.
Oh,
and
nice.
So then you turn into your robot. Of course, you don't need the power. It was really swag.
No, that's cool.
You lose your power really easily in this one. Like everything that would hit me, it was just like, okay, your power's knocked out of you. You better go get it.
Yeah.
And a lot of attacks like flatten you or push you to the screen, and it's like, all right, we're gonna take like 5 to 6 seconds before you can really be back on the level. Go panic.
Yeah. That was true. Moving on to performance. So I captured, because 3DS footage is so hard to capture, I captured this footage on an emulator, and then I was worried about, there's no save transfer, obviously, and I could have continued somewhere else maybe, but I ended up just like finishing all on the emulator, and I didn't have any issues or anything. It was fine. I'm curious how it performed on native hardware, though. Mox, did you have any issues at all?
No. It was smooth, even with the 3D. I'm thinking of, it just fell out of my head. Look, there have been games where you turn on the 3D and it lags. So I turn off the 3D unless
Pokemon X and Y do that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Really badly?
So I turn it off because I'm like, I don't need it. I'd rather the game be smooth. It's almost smoother with 3D on. It's beautiful. It works perfectly.
Same with you, Austin, on native hardware. Pretty good.
It was super smooth. Yeah, no issues.
Nice. That's good. So it's a well-performing, pretty good on the controls, really pretty Kirby game. That's what I'm hearing from you guys.
Okay, but the operative thing there is Kirby game.
Okay, well we got.
I wouldn't say that's the operative word, but Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm gonna throw on the spoilers tag for this story. But mainly so we can talk about the end boss and what happens at the end. So the story of this game is not, I mean, it's a Kirby story, right? It's not very deep or anything like that. It's classic. Kirby needs to save the day. There's this robot. No, that's not a robot. It's like a spacecraft thing that's landed on the planet, and the Pop Star is what it's called. And it has five little legs that you go around and like destroy, and then you have to destroy the middle thing, and then there's a final boss, blah 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 blah. And there is like a story here around the Susie character and how she relates to the president. What's his name? Max Profit, Haltman.
Haltman.
Yeah. And all that. And there is like some bonus stuff there's like some optional scenes that you can get if you want some more story. But I think the thing that's more interesting is how the game ends. How it's like, yeah, you haven't, like, this has been a Kirby game, but we're gonna make this like a Star Fox game at the end here just for fun. And personally, I was a big fan of that. Mox, I can tell by your reactions you were not a big fan of that.
No.
Austin, what about you?
I thought that section was pretty good. It was interesting, something new. I think it was a little bit lacking in depth. It was just kind of like, all right, shoot straight, keep barrel rolling, and you win.
Yeah.
And I would have liked it to be just like a little bit more involved, but at the same time, maybe that would have been too much of an ask, like for throwing players into something totally different. You want them to be able to complete it. Like, I get it. It was cool. It was cool to see.
Did you like the number stuff that happened? Like 5,
the number stuff
4, 3.
The countdown. It
the
shoots
countdown.
them at you. You have to avoid them.
Yeah, and then it gives you like a little, I don't know, mini boss type thing that you fight.
I had the sound off during that.
Oh, but it shoots
It's
the
on the
numbers.
screen.
It shoots the numbers at you. Yeah.
They come towards you.
Oh,
You have to
yes.
move to avoid
Sorry,
them.
they were like actual. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I forgot about that. I was thinking, yeah. No, that was cool.
Yeah.
That reminded me of like the Sector X and Sector Y stuff in old Star Fox, which is cool.
Now, Austin, you've played Kirby Superstar.
Yep.
Mox, have you played it?
No.
Same. So, Austin, relying on your knowledge of Kirby Superstar, apparently the end boss is a boss from Kirby Superstar.
Oh?
Right?
Boss, something like that. The section of Kirby Superstar that's from is not like explained with words,
Oh,
so
okay.
the stuff just kind of happens. But the final boss that you're going for in Kirby Superstar, I think, is using that to make a wish that's bad. I don't really know. At some point, you come in and do an assault on that big mecha ship, and yeah. But I saw the face and was like, I know that face. I don't know what that name is or what you do, but I know you.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, and like there's a few Kirby Superstar things. Like you mentioned already, the music, the sound effects, this. So it seems like
some of the powers, especially. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't care too much. I don't think there's more to talk about at the story, just because it's such a simple Kirby story about saving the world, blah blah blah. But Mox, is there anything that you want to bring up about it?
No.
No. Okay. This might be a shorter episode.
Well, we're getting to our opinions. I have a lot to say.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good. Well, then I'm going to pop off that spoiler tag. And Mox, please start us off on personal takes and opinions.
Every time I see a new Kirby game announced, or we talk about it, or someone's like, oh, have you seen that new Kirby game? I'm like, why haven't I played another Kirby game? Especially because of how much I really enjoyed Air Ride. Which, did you guys play Air Ride?
No.
I did. I rented it a few times.
Do you remember it?
A little bit.
It's not a Kirby game.
No, it's a racing game, isn't it?
It has like a racing element. You can I forget what the stupid modes are, but the best part of it is City Trial, where you basically like play against your friends and you're in a city and you go and collect things and initiate events that happen in the city, and then after that you can have like a race or some other sort of like competition. But anyway, it has it's
kind of like Smash Run. If you've
Mm.
played that in like Smash 4,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, everyone goes off and does their own thing, gather up stuff to build up your stats, and then you all meet at the end for like the actual competition. Does that sound right, Mox?
Yeah. To me, well, that's what City Trial is. I have no idea what Smash Run is, but if that's what it is, then it's very similar. But it has all the Kirby elements, and it's cute like Kirby is. And then, I had played Crystal Shards so long ago, and I liked it because, as we said earlier, you combine, there's fewer abilities, but you combine them, and you only have access to like a small number of the enemies that give you abilities in each level. And you're kind of like doing the level with the abilities you get. This game is like, first of all, I struggle with games that have levels that you don't know what is going on until you've beaten it. And it's frustrating because I'm not someone that just wants to play levels over and over again. And you also can't just like, I don't know, go through part of it and then, get the thing that you missed and then stop. You have to beat the whole level again. Yeah. Especially with auto scrollers is very frustrating. I also don't like, I don't know, it's like I want to be able to know what's going on in the level before I can start getting into it. And so like, I don't know, think of Banjo-Kazooie. Mm-hmm. You go into the level and you can kind of just walk all the way around it before you figure out what's going on, but you could finish everything in one go. You don't have to leave and come back.
For the most part.
I would say for like 99% of it.
Yeah, there's like one jiggy that you have to come back for, and that's about it.
And this game is almost entirely based on just go through the level, see how you like it, and then get your strategies for how you want to come back through it on the second try. But there's so much going on, I can't strategize like that. And so I just get so frustrated with Kirby games like this, where each level is very short and they give you dozens of abilities to choose from, and I don't know which one's the best one. I don't know which alternate path is the path that will take me to like the next step versus the path that I want to like get something and then I will stay in the same spot. And I get so frustrated with that because I just want to know. And it doesn't, like, usually these kinds of things are telegraphed pretty well in games, but this one did not do that for me. And I don't know, every time that I missed a cube in a level, I'm like, I have no idea where that cube is. And I know I'll go through the level again, and then that will be the only thing in the whole level I need to get. And it's like, okay, great. At least I know where it is. But it's so frustrating to me.
Hey, so Mox, did you notice the orange doors versus the yellow doors?
No, I have no idea. Like these are things that rules I feel like I should know.
It's subtle, and it's something that I didn't really notice until like I had been playing Kirby games for a long time. But there are some of the doors have an orange star on them instead of a yellow star, and basically that means this is a little side piece area that you're gonna get a bonus from coming in here. And that's what tells you that like you're not moving on to the next room, that it's like it's safe to go in here and try whatever you're going to try and get the bonus. But even with that, there were still elements of what you're talking about that I was kind of annoyed with as well.
Especially in like the fourth or fifth world, Austin, where
oh my god,
because I was able to get every cube in one run until then, and then once I realized 100% I couldn't get it with getting all the cubes, I just was like, well, I'm not going to do all the extra stages.
Well, what really stinks is, like, okay, if you get all the cubes, then you unlock an EX level, and then that has cubes too.
Yeah.
And if you get all of the cubes, like, including in the EX levels, then you do it for the final EX level, and they're like, cool, you got a sticker. And it's like, are you serious? I got a sticker for doing all that? That's incredibly lame.
Yeah.
Like, it's nice to unlock extra levels, I guess. But also, like, I don't know.
Yeah, the juice wasn't worth the squeeze.
It's not rewarding.
Yeah, not rewarding.
Yeah, it was not rewarding.
And that's frustrating to me. And like, whereas, and again, I shouldn't be comparing it to Air Ride because it's not a Kirby game, but I enjoy doing the same things over and over again in Air Ride because like there's so many different ways you can go. But this game, it's like, I want to make sure I use this battery in this spot, and even though I'm really tempted to use it in a different spot, because if I use it in that different spot, that I've broken the cycle, and I would have to restart the level in order to get to the thing I want to get to. And it's like, oh my god, I don't want to do it over again.
And sometimes they would give you a little death spot that you could kill yourself and like restart the room that you're in, which was nice. But a lot of times they would be like,
yeah,
this was an auto scroller.
Sorry about you.
There was nowhere to die here. Like,
yeah,
go ahead on to the next room because you're screwed. You're gonna have to replay this level and come back for this part. It was just like, why? Like, especially the later you get into the game, the more they add those death spots to just be like, okay, let me retry the room. And it's like, why not do that for the early stuff? Somebody's gonna mess this up and then need to want to come back. Like, man. Yeah, that drove me nuts.
Yeah, that was a little frustrating.
And like it is so easy. And so it's frustrating that I'm getting mad at it and like having difficulty with a game that is so easy. And also for that same reason, very boring. There's no logic to the puzzles. It's like either guess or you like learn what this like sort of mechanic is. I'm thinking of the batteries. And so then you've learned, okay, I don't want to put my battery in the first place I see. I need to think about it. But then that doesn't become a puzzle. It's just like a pattern. And in that way, it becomes boring. There's really no like skill or strategy. And that is why this game did not hold my attention. And even though it is super cute and all the abilities are very cool and it's different from Crystal Shards, well, and Air Ride, in that, in those games, the abilities did one thing. And now you have, I don't even know, is it like 15 abilities? There's a lot of abilities.
A lot, yeah.
And they each do like 6 different things, and they're all very unique and different in that way. So that's fun. But I wasn't super enthused about when you get into your robot versus when you're not. And in the speedrun, that you're only in the robot when you absolutely have to be, and otherwise there's no purpose in being in the robot. And in the speedrun, they got I wasn't any percent, but they got most of the cubes too.
Yeah.
Which to me just kind of like cheapened the robot experience. And I don't know. I appreciate this game as a Kirby game, and I appreciate Kirby games for what they are. If anything, they are consistent, and that is what this game was. It was a consistent Kirby game, but it just isn't fun. And so I would give it, I know, I'll give it a 7 because it's beautiful.
Okay.
And the 3D is excellent, and the music is good,
yeah,
and the design is good, and the ideas of the different abilities is good, and the story is not the worst. It's definitely the more complicated Kirby story I've seen, but I just hate the model of the platforming levels.
Yeah, I think that's a very fair assessment. I think I enjoyed it a little more than both of you, so I'll go last. Austin.
Okay. So I was trying to pinpoint, when I played this initially, I made it through World 1. Got all the cubes, and I was just like, I guess I will play this just slowly over time, and I never came back to it. I had picked it up because people were kind of raving about it, like, oh, it's a great, like, this is awesome, and I just didn't get within the first world what people were hyped about with it. Like, the robot stuff is kind of interesting, but it's like, it's for small segments of the level. And then, like, it's not a main mechanic, right? You use it for small bursts of like, here's part of the level that you're really just supposed to be in it for. It's not like I don't know. There wasn't a whole lot of depth to that mechanic, I felt like. I think a lot of people have this interpretation of Kirby that, oh, it's just not a series for me. And I think the reason for that is a lot of Kirby games follow this, are end up being short and or also too easy.
Mm-hmm.
And there are Kirby games that are like okay, we've all played Crystal Shards.
Yep.
That was super awesome. Like, it was not short. It wasn't just mega easy. And what would you say is the most interesting part of that game?
The end where you, of each level, where you get to jump on the little picnic and you get to get a card. That's what you guys were going to say, right?
Combining powers.
Yeah,
okay.
combining powers for me too.
Okay, combining powers. So, like, super, super awesome mechanic. You want to see what each power is going to do with other powers. Like, okay, if I combine electricity and I forget what, I guess it was ice and electricity, you could turn yourself into a fridge,
right?
And like spew out items, and like that's awesome.
Rock and
so
cutter.
Rock and cutter was very awesome.
It invites you to try out like all of these. Like, okay, I need to find a scenario where I have this power and I can find this power. Like, and those are satisfying to find. On top of that, it's got like some interesting secrets and unlockables and stuff like that. But you know, and they're fun levels to play through.
They're all different too. I mean, like, I know the levels look different, but they play differently too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Superstar is the other game that I really love from Kirby because it's multiple games in one, so it's not short. And each game has a level of difficulty. So like the first one is a short game and it's an easy game. And then the next one's a little bit longer and it's also a little bit harder. And they keep growing and growing until you unlock this final story that's just like a full-on, like by itself, that's just a really good game on its own. But it's not just the only game here. It's like one of several of this long adventure. And each one kind of changes how it's structured. Like one is just like, okay, here's a level, you're done. And by the end, in the final game, I was telling Tyler about this, instead of, like, you can't copy powers in that one. Instead, you have to find, like, your rewards for finding secrets. Your reward for finding secrets is basically you unlock a power permanently to where you can select it at any time. And you collect those throughout your mission. And by the end, you can pick any one of them. Because, like, core part of a good Kirby game is you got to have interesting powers and make powers and fun to use. The one beef I had with Kirby Superstar was that there were lots of puzzles that would require you to have a power, like a specific power. And if you didn't have it, it was too late to go get it in that room. Like, you were kind of supposed to come in with it. And I would say this game does a much better job of avoiding that. It's like, if you need the power, it's going to be in the room with you almost every time. It's just, I would like to see a new Kirby game that gets the right focus. Make the powers super fun, and if you want to use the old powers because they are great, then do some interesting mechanics. Like, how have we not gotten a mix-up mechanic in this long, right?
We're due.
Make it a long adventure that's fun. Like, and co-op was a really big part of what made Superstar fun, but it's obviously not required. Crystal Shards got away with no co-op, and like that was also super fun.
Also had some bomb-ass mini-games.
Yes, for sure.
The paint one?
Superstar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, this one nailed more of what I want out of a good Kirby game. Like, it got the powers and mechanics from Superstar, which was awesome. It's just there wasn't really interesting levels to use those in. And so it got more interesting as I went, but it never reached a point where I was just like having a great time. So I would give this a 6 or a 7, I think.
I was between 6 and 7, but it felt too mean to say 6.
Dang.
I felt a little bit mean saying 6 because, like, it is very pretty and the sound is nice. It's just, I don't want to play this ever again.
Well, I really love the music, and I liked being in a robot suit. Oh, also, Mox, you should never play Forgotten Land. Don't play that. You will not like
Good
it.
To know. Thank you.
Based on what you said. And but anyway, I thought the robot powers were really cool. I think they do a better job. I mentioned that I was playing Return to Dreamland Deluxe, they do a much better job of having like a super ability in that game than like the robot stuff is cool, but they do it better without the robot suit, I think. I thought the race car levels were pretty neat. I thought the like Galaga or like shoot 'em up levels were really cool. I like the variety. It wasn't a super hard game, but it did get like a little bit difficult, especially towards the end boss, for me at least. And I love the surprise at the end with the end boss. Something that you guys didn't call out, so I don't know if you noticed it or not, maybe not, but I don't know if you guys noticed this, but your lives don't carry over if you quit the game. So if you get like a bunch of extra...
I just never quit the game.
Oh, okay.
Who quits this game?
Well, I did. And also, I would have liked to see some more levels. I wish it would have been longer.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So that's why I bought Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe, and I've been having a good time. And I need to finish Forgotten Land because I'm really close. So I feel like I am someone who enjoys Kirby games. I like the simpleness, and I don't find it boring. I find it more of just like a very chill time. Instead of like, oh, this is boring. I'm more like, oh, this is a nice little chill experience that I can get through. This is a very beatable, game. It's totally something I can 100%. Well, not this one, but I can.
You should play Woolly World.
Yeah.
Maybe I should.
Oh.
I think it's gonna be on sale for the Mario, March 10th Mario Day stuff.
Yeah, probably.
So might be worth picking up. But anyway, I understand what your guys' points, and I can definitely see them. But for me, they didn't bother me too much. So for me, I would give this game an 8 because I thought it was great. I thought it was a great game, and I really liked it. And I'm kind of sad
every time. Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, every time you commented in our little chat saying, "Oh, I just beat this level. I'm doing all the cubes. Did you get to this EX level?" I was like, "How is this man enjoying this game? What is going on? What am I not getting?"
It's just not for you, and then that's okay. That's okay. I'm
glad you enjoyed it.
Not every game's for everybody, but
it's a rare
had a
day
really good time
for me and Mox to agree so well on a game that Tyler and I don't agree on.
It's true.
Lightning struck.
And I've been playing at least a level a day on Return to Dreamland so far since I got it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That sounds like torture.
For like my lunch break, I'm like, oh, I'll do a Return to Dreamland level really quickly. They don't take that long. They don't have cubes in that one, they have gears. Get all the gears. But it's basically the same. And it's just more Kirby, and I love it.
There you go.
When I do come visit Austin, we should play the mini games. I think
Sure.
I think you will like them.
You already showed me they have the paint the lines.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
So I'm stoked for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mox, whenever you come over, we'll have to, or if I come over there, I'll have to bring it, and we can play the mini games because they are pretty cool. They have this one where you have to catch eggs in your mouth and you have to avoid the bombs. It was it was a lot harder than it sounds. So yeah, that was Kirby Planet Robobot. And if you enjoyed hearing us discuss and want to join us for the next Video Game Club episode, stay put, because our vote just ended and it was between Tunic, Sable, and Cult of the Lamb. And the winner is Tunic.
Yay!
So we will be playing Tunic. I think everyone would have enjoyed all of these games, but I am excited for Tunic. I think it's going to be really good. I do want to say before we get started with Tunic, to everyone who's watching live or that listens to this, hopefully before the episode comes out, the game it can be a bit challenging. It doesn't really hold your hand. You can put it on easy, but it's a lot tougher than I thought it was going to be. So I'm just throwing that out there.
And you can just straight up miss some kind of important stuff. Like, I reached a point where I was talking to Tyler and I was like, man, I'm here and it's really hard. And he was like, yeah, just use your shield. And I was like, I don't have a shield.
Yes.
He was like, yeah, you definitely should have a shield by now. So.
Yeah. So if you get stuck or something, just let us know in the Discord. I can give you some hints, at least on the beginning, so that you can be like, oh, I'm supposed to have this item and I don't have it yet. That's weird. But yeah. I also think, Mox, I think you're really, really going to love the instruction booklet mechanic of the game.
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed it in Ni no Kuni. It was just, it would have been better.
This is a way better version of that.
Oh,
Infinitely better. But thank you, everyone who voted. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. Our next episode will be on March 19th, 2023 at 2 o'clock Eastern. If you can't make the live session again, don't worry. You can find it on YouTube, podcast services, all those things. Austin, I know it's been quite an eventful day for you, but I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks for your patience, and thanks for having me.
Of course. Mox, thank you for joining us as well.
Thank you.
Yep. And special thank you to Andron for working behind the scenes, doing all the hard stuff. I'm Tyler, and this was Video Game Club episode 66, Kirby, Planet Robobot, and we're out.